It's about 1 o'clock in the morning for me right now. Do not have work tomorrow, and I figure, why not make a bonus video for Hellnight? So, I did bring it up in the thread, but the group that made Hellnight did manage to make one other game before, I assume they were put on a boat and then sank somewhere into the ocean. And this is that one other game they made. It is called Desperia, lowercase d-e, uppercase s, Peria. And it is a Dreamcast game. And not a lot of information I can find on it. It's about as obscure as Hellnight. And it was never translated. So I am not going to do a full LP of this because it would be a mind-boggling train wreck. So I'd figure, I'd give you a small nibblin', a small little tastin' in a bonus video here to hopefully convince you to never play this game because, oh my god, I'm not doing this blind. I at least played enough of it to where I could make sure it ran. Yeah, and the sounds, oh my god, the sounds are spectacular. But we do have quite a few options. We can turn stuff off, and we can adjust the brightness. But that's not what you came here for. You came here for some hot Desperia action, and you are gonna get it while I ramble on in a very confused manner. So there are a lot of parallels that one can see design-wise between both Hellnight and Desperia. There are a number of bizarre and eccentric NPCs. There is an apocalyptic backstory that, from what I've been able to gather, and through the help of my friend Panzerskank, this game apparently has a very complicated and in-depth storyline, to say the least. And when you're trying to just Google Translate wikis that were written by clinically insane people, you are left more confused than you probably started with. But I will say that the graphics are quite a bit better. I think this game came out about 2 to 3 years after Hellnight did. And, sorry, I'm just being struck by the cutscene. Because this is my first time seeing it in full. Because when I first wanted to just test around with this, I was just, gotta get the gameplay. So I did miss out on this noseworm just hallucination going on here. This game deals a lot with characters from the hit series Reboot, or at least what appears to be, and psychic powers and androids and evil corporations and just a lot of text. Like a billion pieces of goddamn text on the screen at any one time. And I don't know what most of it says. I was able to brute force my way through most of it. I just want to kind of get to the gist of gameplay, just to show it off a little bit. And it's a lot more wordy than Hellnight ever was, but like I said, it looks better. Most of the game is played from these static screens that you can kind of pan around And it's alright. It's kind of a point-and-click adventure, even though, well, it's not immediately evident what you can interact with. You kind of just have to scan around and, like, use your investigate button. And sometimes your character will focus in on areas, such as this seat here. And we have a small conversation about the chair. But more importantly, we get this monstrosity, this millipede with tentacles and a face. What does this do, you might ask? Well, that's a very good question. I'm sure our character here, who I feel the want to point out is named Allure Valentine, I'm sure she is having just a very explanatory discussion about this faced tentacle worm here, but we won't worry about it because I do know what it's for. Because believe it or not, at the heart of this game, it is both an adventure game and a turn-based traditional style RPG, which means we do have stats and an inventory, and it's bizarre. We have our selection of items here. I was able to discern what some of these are and do. Like this thing right here is apparently a syringe that will refill some health. And this is some magic pills that will refill our MP, because there is magic. Do not know what this thing is for. I assume it's for some kind of futuristic car. And we also have a very angry sports drink. So, more importantly though, we found this little worm here. And apparently this ringworm is probably something we shove up our nose and it increases our defense, so yuck. This is disgusting. We also have this amazing body harness, which is very protective, I assume, or increases our speed. I don't care. In addition to that, we also have friendly, helpful robots that cast spells, and they are pretty much our party. Yeah, that is a thing that's around us. I think we can actually get a better look at them. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Yep, that's God, that's helpful. I guess. Yeah, this game is a nightmare. And I feel that knowing anything more about it would be not helpful. We also have this friendly guy right here. I think Panzerskank, the closest she could translate this to was Dark Egg. And yeah, we'll hopefully be getting into combat. We don't want to deal with these menus for too long. So we also can find a few other things, I think, in here. There's a dead body, which we can't really do anything with. But I think there's something in here. And hey, look, it's well, it's a needle virus. I think that was the closest that Panzer could translate it. Needless to say, it probably doesn't do what you think it does. And I'm sure amongst all that text there, it probably explained what it does. But I can tell you, it's something that increases our attack. I don't fucking know. I will probably never know. But we are done. We can't really do like a full 360 here, but you can see that there's a little green arrow, indicating that we can go backwards. So let's do that and get out of this wrecked train. But we can't just yet. Because hiding somewhere amongst the wreckage is this... I think she is supposed to be an android, due to the fact that she is topless and without a belly button, but she is one of many nightmarish creatures that we will happen upon in quick succession, honestly. Like this game, much like Hellnight, really wants to throw as many NPCs as possible at you at one time, and it's great, I think would be the best word, because, as I kind of mentioned earlier in my ramblings, a part of this game has to do with psychic nonsense, and one of our really defining factors is the fact that we can read the mind of random people. This is mind reading. I mean, it's an alright graphic effect and idea, but it's there you go, 15 XP, well worth doing whatever we just did. I'm sure we got very cryptic information about this android lady. I really want to assume that she is an android, and that this is not just some random topless woman amongst the wreckage of this train. But yeah, she talks a lot. There's a lot of story here, but hey, alright, let's get out of this fucking train. Because outside the train, we have quite a bit that we can look around in. We can take in the crashed train that we just managed to escape from, along with paragraphs and paragraphs of text. And, oh, shut up. So we now have a full 360 degrees we can turn around. Still, we don't have a direct indication of where we can go. There's random things we can investigate. But quite a few things are going to be locked to us. Which is fine. That was terrifying. I think we're having a intense fight with this door here. I really cannot even begin to explain the sound work in this goddamn game. It's just mind-boggling. But we do not have free range of motion. Instead, well, like I said, this plays very much like an adventure game. You just kind of point in a general direction, and you get pushed. You get pushed in a dramatic 3D sense. Yeah, we stumbled across another cast member from the hit CG animated series Reboot. I think this might be Bit. And she is goth as fuck. And she talks. We don't care what she's saying because we don't understand it. Really, the one last thing I really want to show off... Oh my god. One last thing I wanted to show off before I ended this bonus video, because this is hurting. This hurts my brain. Because like I said, I brute forced my way through most of this before. and it is bizarre. Ding! And it probably would be more interesting if I understood any of what was going on, but I don't. It's good. Lots of text. You can hear me probably dramatically clicking away on my controller because this a lot of texts. Yes, I want to go up the stairs. Quit talking to me. It's cool. We've gotten to a more picturesque room where everybody has to talk to us a lot. And there's a few things in here. Namely, we have this... it looks like a shrimp cocktail to me, but I'm an idiot. This is our save points. You know, we don't need to save. But apparently, sometimes you can interact with objects and also mind hack them, which makes no sense. You gotta select it and then mind hack. We're given a lot of distorted voices and duck quacking and a little bit XP. And I assume we wanted to do this because I don't know. I made progress in this game and I don't know how. It was mostly just the adventure game logic of rubbing my face on everything until something else happened. And it mostly worked out pretty well. I mean, outside of having to run into this endless cavalcade of people. And I say people in the loosest of terms, because holy fuck, I don't understand. Come on. Okay. So that pretty much is the extent of what we can do in here, but considering that we triggered something, I assume it was necessary. Go downstairs. In dramatic fashion. And we run into Head Wound Hannah here. She is wanting to access the elevator, and it's currently off, I think. But since we met a new person, we obviously had to hack their brains. After a very long discussion, I really think the best part about this is that I cannot actively skip this, so good gameplay design. And in case you might be wondering about how much 5 XP really is, if we finish talking here, very little. Our first level requires 64 XP, and we've gotten 30 so far. Just by, you know, doing what the game forces us to do, pretty much. And we now have a handy dandy map, and it's neither handy nor dandy. No idea. No idea how this is supposed to be helpful in the goddamn least, but we have it. And I think we are getting close to our first fight. I'm just making sure to check. Make sure we don't miss anything. I'm really sorry I sound so exasperated, but this is... This is a bonus video! Alright, so I think we can now head back, because even though it doesn't seem like it, there are more things that have triggered behind us. Such as this, whatever this is supposed to be. Good. I'm really glad we stumbled into a mall. It's really a product of the times. Those times being, I don't know, the 1920s in Japan, for all I care. I don't understand any of these clothing decisions. Hooray! And I really hope that we don't have all these people just following behind us, because that would be really awful. Yep. All these doors are still very locked to us. Hooray! Another person. Another NPC that's just invisible to us. Another great carryover from Hellnight. I think this guy's name is Joe. Even though... who knows? He looks horrible. We are almost to the boss fight. Well, not the boss fight, it's just a random fight. We just have to just finish this. Hooray, I feel rewarded for being forced to do this. Just go away, fat man. Okay. Now, if I remember... Yep, this is mysteriously unlocked. Androids. Naked female attacked, sexually assaulted androids. And this man with spider tattoos and his nice coat from the Burlington Coat Factory. I do not know what he wants, nor do I care. I just wish for him to go away. Alright, so, in this seemingly innocuous looking large room here, there are a few items to get. I do not know what that bottle of poison was, but we have it now. But more importantly, this area is what I finally wanted to show. Because it just seems like any other normal place, but we can psychically investigate it. And it gives us more gibberish. Because I assume even in Japanese this is complete and utter gibberish. But outside of the 15 XP, we do get attacked by something. So yeah, like I said, this game is part adventure game and part turn-based RPG. And this spooky ghost face is our first enemy. Our character that we're playing as is in the center here. She does really shit damage, which is fine, because it's really our Pokemon that are our main source of damage. We have a list of spells here. I think we mainly want to... I think this is like a multi-target spell, this is a single target spell, and this is a debuff. So since we're only fighting a single target spell. I think it's supposed to be an ice spell. And I think this character uses fire, maybe? Or wind, of course. But yeah, your little Pokemon here can move pretty fast and do a reasonable amount of damage. Like way, way more than you. And yeah, this is pretty much the extent of combat. I mean, this thing will spook you and poison you, but it's your first battle. It dies quick enough. But it's at least combat. They at least tried something different than in Hellnight, so kudos to them for trying. And we get a lot of something and a measly amount of experience. But it was enough to level us, so we do get a random assortment of stats that don't seem to really have any effect, as far as I can tell, because they just affect us, and we are the worst fighter in the game. But yeah, with that out of the way, we do get a Keyblade, and I think that's that should be enough. I think that's enough punishment for me at this particular moment, but hopefully you enjoyed this weird piece of nonsense. Hopefully this goes along well with the Hellnight experience, knowing that the company made one other game and it was just Hellnight 2.0, but somehow worse and somehow more confusing and way more terrifying than it has any right to be.